Hickory, about as good a firewood as you can get. Now, there's easier ways to do this, but these are Swedish splitting malls, made by hand in a hand forge. Hard to beat. You could actually shave with this thing.
John Riggins is in his 60s, but he's as strong as a man in his 20s. Even more amazing, what he did in his 30s. Riggins gained more yards in his 30s than he did in his 20s. At the age of 34, he ran for a career-high 1,347 yards and a then-record 24 touchdowns. Later, Riggins retired, but he continued to leave his mark in Washington.
Well, I'd been with a good friend of mine most of that afternoon, having a few beers. Got home, put on my tuxedo, didn't bother to eat, went down to the hotel where the party went. Walk in, and don't know why, because I really hardly ever drink it, but I had a double scotch. He says, "Gubernator," and then I had another one. "I understand that we're going to be seated at the same table tonight." There were 2 bottles of red wine, and John, in a very expressive mood, managed to mow both of them down. They bring dinner, but by now, it's like I'm already past the point of no return. And I said, I'm not hungry. So I continued to drink my dinner. So they put 2 more bottles of red wine also within John's reach, and somehow managed to knock them over. So at this point, the table is now covered with red wine. We'd been told early on that Justice O'Connor was going to have to leave early. But by now, you get into that frame of mind where everybody's at the party and you don't leave. It's all, and so Justice O'Connor's getting ready to leave, and of course that's when the now famous words, "Loosen up, Sandy, baby." And basically it was me saying, "Don't go, come on, we're going to have a lot of fun." And then it was, boom, timber. I got to tell people it looked like an 18-wheeler jackknifed on the interstate. And he just, without a sound. And he stayed there for the entire speech. I guess instead of making a commotion, they just left me there till the party was over and the lights came up and they helped me to my feet. And I rode off into the sunset. It was a great evening, as far as I was concerned, one of the most memorable that I can remember in Washington because of the way that it played out and the fact that everybody enjoyed it.
What did I think of it? I think there's 2 schools of thought on that. Some people think it's fabulous. Other people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's crazy." I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was the guy that I would want to meet and hang out with.
At the time, Riggins was dealing with a difficult divorce. His new space was a trailer on the Potomac until a storm washed it downriver. Lisa Marie helped rescue it and John.
He had this reputation for being a drunk, a partier, and just a big galoot. Anybody who's ever ultimately worked with John or spent more than 5 or 10 minutes with John understands that this is somebody who not only survived a tremendously violent career at a high level, but has a tremendous intelligence and a tremendous loyalty, and will always do the right thing.
I don't know where or what I'd be doing right now had I not met my wife, Lisa Marie. She's given me the ability to trust. I've never had that before. And that's a pretty big thing in a human's life, I think. Trust.
Soon, they upgraded from the trailer to an abandoned warehouse where Lisa Marie continued John's restoration.
At the warehouse, he had a doorstop. And the doorstop was his Super Bowl MVP trophy. And it was tarnished, and it was black, and it was dented. So when we got married, I finally got permission to have it restored.
They moved to New York, were married by Rudy Giuliani, and had 2 daughters. John studied acting. As a football star, he was used to the stage. It was a space where he'd always felt free to be himself.
It's more than that. Why, it's freedom itself. You can blow your top out here and go right here. I won't go back.
To jail? Have you been in jail before?
Prison camp in Nam. I was a POW. I won't be locked up again.
Reagan's most memorable curtain call came in Washington, when he was surprised with a dozen roses from none other than Sandra Day O'Connor. He took his final bow in 1990. The Redskins were adding his name to their ring of fame.
I'm standing on the 50-yard line in my suit like a broken-down old football player should be, but there's no John. You know, John's supposed to be here next to me because our names are going up on plaques. And then all of a sudden, the crowd starts to get restless, and it starts to get louder and louder and louder. And out of the Redskin dugout comes John in full battle regalia.
John Reagan. Who else?
Waiting for him were the mother he was so much like, and the father he so wanted to please.
He looks good.
Looks like he could still play, doesn't he?
I remember running out there and Theismann's looking at me with this quizzical look on his face. He's going, John, why? And I told him, I said, I had to hear it just one more time.